Hey everyone, and welcome to Monday make number 4. 4 weeks in a row. It's a pretty good go for me getting these videos underway, and I'm really enjoying having an opportunity to share a project with you every week. So this week we are using this Springtime Foils Specialty Designer Series paper, and as you can see, this is really lovely shiny cardstock with a beautiful foil design in it. And today I'm going to be combining it with the Amazing You stamp set as well. And both of these products are available as free gifts at the moment during celebration. We still have a few weeks of celebration left, right until the end of March. So you can get your hands on these products for free with every purchase over $110. So the first step that we're going to do today is I'm going to show you how to get a bit of an ombre colour effect on this specialty paper. So we're going to use some powder pink ink and also a sponge brayer, and we'll also pop in a little bit of Blushing Bride ink as well to give us that beautiful intensity of colour. But we're going to start off with our powder pink, and I'm just going to turn my cardstock into a landscape position to start with because it makes it easier for brayering. And then I'm going to ink up my sponge brayer, and you want to give it quite a good ink, get lots of colour on there, and then you want to start just off the end of your cardstock and roll your way inwards. So I'm going to start right here and then just keep moving all the way up my cardstock, just backwards and forwards all the way, not quite to the top because I want to keep the very top of my cardstock actually original colour. So I'm just blending it most of the way up, and then you can blend back down again as well and re-ink and do the exact same thing again. And just keep building up your colour as you go, and you can see that each time I add a layer of colour that it gets a little bit darker all the way up my card, with most of the colour being down this end where I'm starting with my brayer and it graduating out as it gets towards the top end. And so you're just going to keep building up that colour until you're happy with the gradation of colour that you have going from right to left. And you can see now that I'm not going quite as high up the card with my colour each time because I want most of my colour now to be down this end here. And you can just keep going until you've got enough colour on there that you're happy with. Now I want still this end to be just a little bit darker, so I'm going to switch from my powder pink, actually I'll leave that open because I'm going to use that again in a minute, to my Blushing Bride because it's just similar tone but a slightly darker. And so once again start off the end and then just bring that colour in and blend it upwards. Now you can add as much or as little colour as you like, you just keep going until you're happy with your end result. Okay, so I'm quite happy with that now. I think we've got a really nice gradation of colour going up our foil. Hopefully you can see that in the video nice and clear. So we're going to pop that just to the side for a moment and work on some of the other elements of our card. So the next bit that I'm going to do is to stamp some of the images from the Amazing You stamp set. So I'm starting off with the flower image, and I'm going to stamp this onto my piece of Whisper White cardstock with the powder pink ink as well. And I'm going to put up right down in the corner here, almost hanging off the edge of the corner. In fact, it doesn't matter if it hangs off the corner, like so. And then I'm going to layer on my greeting already. So the stamp set comes with this beautiful script, amazing stamp, so we're going to use that, and I'm just using some basic black ink for my greetings, and I'm going to pop this one right down in the corner here. And then they are simply just above it here. And last but not least is the U, which is going to go in the middle here. Oh, don't you hate it when you do that, man? So here comes my good old Stamp-A-Ma-Jig. I'll stamp it onto there, line it up, and I can have another go. Now obviously if I was using my Stamparatus today, I could have just re-stamped that straight away without any bother, but the good old Stamp-A-Ma-Jig still does a great job too. Look at that, you wouldn't even know. Now I could go in and do the same with my Amazing where I missed it just a little bit there, but hey, I don't mind a little bit of missed stamping at all. It's handmade, it's allowed to have a few little boo-boos on it. So the next bit that I'm going to do is I'm just going to stamp this image again on some powder pink cardstock using powder pink ink. And then I'm going to be cutting these out. So I'm just going to stamp the flower image. 1 and 2. So I'm going to cut these out with just with my paper snips. Got one as the full flower and then one as the smaller inner petals here. Now I happen to have already gone ahead and cut these 2 layers out like so. So now I'm actually just going to get my bone folder and just curl them just a little bit, just soften the cardstock a little bit, just keep going round and round and brushing it over your bone folder, and that way when we go and layer it up on the card it just has a little bit of dimension to it. And then I'm going to do the same on this layer as well, just layer them, just add that nice bit of extra dimension that you alright. So now we are actually ready to go and layer our card all together. So I have a card front already cut with from powder pink cardstock, and I've just cut my A4 piece long ways this time to give me a portrait stand card. And we're going to adhere our piece of foil on that we've already braided with our colour. So just a bit of adhesive on there. As always, I love my multi-purpose adhesive for doing my layers. Make sure we get it around the right way, our darker piece of the ombre at the bottom. You could put it at the top, of course, but I'd feel a little bit silly if I put it upside down. We've all been there and done that plenty of times before though, I know. Alright, so that's our first layer on. With our stamped layer here, I'm actually just going to layer this up onto another piece of powder pink cardstock, but I want it to be offset on a bit of an angle just for something a little different. So I'm just going to apply some adhesive in the centre here. And then offset it a little bit. Doesn't matter how offset it is, you can do more or less, whatever suits you. And then we're going to layer this onto our card front as well. And once again, I'm actually going to put this on a slight angle as well. just because I'm usually a completely straight up and down kind of a girl when I'm crafting. I usually do like everything lined up, kind of just so I'm being a rebel today and putting it on an angle. And now we can layer on our flowers that we have already cut out. So just going to work out where my right way round is. So I'm going to pop this one down directly with my multi-purpose adhesive. Like so. And just lining it up with the stamped image underneath. And then with this one here, I'm going to use a dimensional, of course, to give it a little bit of height. Right in the centre. And this is where you can also just have a little bit more of a play around with your petals here, lifting them and moving them where you want them to have that extra bit of dimension to them. And then adhere that onto your project as well, lining it up with the centre. And as a final finishing touch, I'm just going to bring in the gold foil from our background piece here. I'm just going to bring that gold in by adding one of our little gold faceted gems into the centre of our flower. Like so. And I'm going to add just a couple of little gold sequins as well from our gold sequin trim, and I really like using this quite often just as an extra little finishing touch. I can just add a couple of extra bits of shine to the card. Now the best way to adhere these little sequins is to kind of work out where you want them, like I've done here, and then I just pick them up on the end of my finger, pop just the tiniest little dot of the fine tip glue, and then pop the sequin back down on top. And that way you don't end up with kind of adhesive everywhere, and you're not trying to place a tiny little sequin either. And that is our card today. Beautiful ombre background and some beautiful layered flowers from the Amazing You stamp set. And that's us for today. I hope you enjoyed today's project, and I'll be back next Monday with another Monday Make. See you then.